My name is Florian Kolb. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer and General Manager Energy of a company called Intertrust Technologies. So I would like to share with you some thoughts on the digital hydrogen layer and also cyber and data security concerns. A very, very short background who we are. So Intertrust is a company that's focused on data security in energy and data interoperability in energy, and tries to enable the energy transition and decarbonization by providing security to energy IoT devices from the source to the cloud, also remove data silos within energy organizations, and enable AI that helps us to decarbonize. This is proven in a lot of and tested in a lot of parts of the energy value chains, or in generation, renewables, distribution grids, EV charging, and so on and so forth. And we are backed by large-scale energy players that have more than 200 billion of revenue in energy. It's a Silicon Valley-based company. Our energy shareholders are JERA, E.ON, and Origin Energy, and a couple of other brands that probably you are aware of, around 130 colleagues. And we spent a lot of time the last 5 years to develop these energy-related data technologies. And the reason why I'm speaking to you is because hydrogen and the digital layer is a topic of interest for me since quite some time. And so some of the key observations from my end around H2 and digital over the last 6 months, that's roughly the period I'm focusing on this. So first of all, the relevance and role of green hydrogen for decarbonizing the energy system is, I think, undisputed. What I think people dispute is whether it can be green hydrogen or turquoise hydrogen or blue hydrogen or other colors of hydrogen. I mean, that's, I think, a very fun discussion about the economic viability of especially green hydrogen. I heard a comment the other day that green hydrogen is a myth that only the Europeans believe in. So that's a fun discussion. All key research supports the thesis that there will be substantial use of hydrogen or green hydrogen within the next 5 to 10 years. That's also, I think, very clear. But digital strategies and digital challenges that stem from hydrogen are not on the radar of many. So all the people I'm talking about that are preparing for huge investments in hydrogen, or that are running pilots already, they confirm that digital has not been on the radar that much. People worry more about the prices for buying hydrogen, selling, some electrolyzer technologies, concepts, and stuff like that, but digital is not on the radar. But a lot of people also admit that it should be on the radar. And that's one of the objectives of today's presentation here, to at least bring it on your radar screen more prominently. So why worry about the digital hydrogen layer? It's because of sector coupling. Sector coupling is one of the best known secrets in the energy sector. It's something that only academics really talk about. It's a very simple concept, which means that actually we have like 3 main areas where energy is being used. That's for electricity, for mobility, so moving things around, and for heating and cooling. So when you think about energy, where does it end up to? It's always, it creates electricity, it creates movement from A to B, or it creates heat or cold. And what sector coupling means is that we have to integrate these 3 sectors in an intelligent way to reach the decarbonization of these sectors. And that means that also there has to be some harmonization between these sectors. And actually, hydrogen is the enabler for sector coupling. Just think about cargo ships. If you generate green hydrogen from green electricity, then you use the green electricity via green hydrogen to create movement of ships. Yeah, so that's like a perfect example for sector coupling. With electric cars, that's a little bit easier because we have EV charging infrastructure, so we can directly send the green electrons to the car where they create a movement from A to B. So as we all know, H2 is a great enabler for areas where direct ingestion of electricity, doesn't require the temperature we need, or also getting motors run in the way we need it. And to harmonize the production and the consumption of energy across the sectors can only be done if data and information is efficiently and securely exchanged between these different ecosystems and different parts of the value chain. And data trust and data security are necessary requirements to make this actually happen. So this is really what, in our view, pushes the digital topic into the hydrogen economy. So if you look at the hydrogen ecosystem, on the right side, you see like a picture that was published by the Department of Energy from the United States, which summarizes all the different aspects that connect to hydrogen. Then what you see apparently, just by the numbers of bubbles, that adding hydrogen or green hydrogen significantly increases the complexity of the energy system. And so now, if we want to harmonize renewable energy and green hydrogen production, storage, transportation, and the different demand and supply profiles, then we need a decentralized coordination, which, for the sake of efficiency, should take place as seamless as possible. And also, we need to steer things on a local level, but also on a systems level overall. And what that requires are actually high levels of information transparency, and also very efficient ways to move data and information around in this system. So examples for data categories are the current and future energy production, the consumption, weather data, energy market data, so electricity prices or hydrogen prices, storage data, transportation data. If we think about shipping cargoes of hydrogen, then that's itself is a very complex value chain where a lot of data needs to be exchanged and can create a very significant boost of efficiency. So we have quite some interesting and significant information and data challenges that we need to face. And therefore, we think that green hydrogen and also other green fuels require an early development and adoption of digital strategies, because if you want to build a system that is highly secure and highly interoperable, that is nothing you can do overnight. So you need to really start early on thinking about, what are the required data interoperability bridges that we have to build? How do we implement that from a technology perspective? And what we think people should at least look at are very powerful data platforms that enable data sharing, data exchange, and then also enable artificial intelligence that go across single entities, but cover more or less whole value chains. So some of the business benefit is that when we have these processes around hydrogen fully digitized, and when we have very good information flow, also we can increase the cost efficiency, which is a big topic for the hydrogen economy, and bring the overall cost of decarbonization down. And so that's, I think, next to subsidies and things like that, and production technology and the price of electrons that we need for hydrogen, one of the aspects that has to be considered. So another argument for taking this digital layer very serious. Unfortunately, there are more things to worry about than the ones I just have outlined, and these are the threats and the risks that come with for energy companies and hydrogen companies from cybersecurity and malicious actors. And that's something which is very relevant for the existing energy system. Some of you might remember the Colonial Pipeline hack, where a major pipeline in the United States was shut down because somebody hacked into the OT devices that control the pipeline. So that's something which is a big fun for hacker, because the damage potential is very significantly. And if you now introduce a new fuel source, so to say, to the energy system like hydrogen, cybersecurity risks and challenges are, of course, should be on top of the mind of people. And what we see, if there is a lack of cybersecurity or the wrong approaches are being taken, that puts also a massive operational burden on companies. It increases the development and operation costs. And the question is, how can we build systems around hydrogen that have enough inherent security that take away these burdens and enable the required security level? So that is something also people should have on the radar and spend time on, and also potentially invest in. So our call for action is more or less to think about data architectures around data security and interoperability for the entire value chain in hydrogen. And we also suggest to start thinking early on implementing device-oriented security systems and software layers that provide the security and interoperability. And what we have done to facilitate that and also to create a platform is we just started before the summer an open standards organization, which is called Trusted Energy Interoperability Alliance, which so far is carried by JERA, E.ON, Origin Energy, as well as Intertrust. So these are all people that are involved in energy right now and that have stakes and interest in hydrogen in the future. And we will also start a hydrogen working group that will work on technical specifications around the data security and data interoperability aspects. And these specifications will support, for example, procurement processes for equipment that is needed for getting hydrogen going, producing hydrogen, that provide an increased level of data security for this equipment and the software systems that are underlying. So I think these are my 10 minutes of presentation that I wanted to share with you. I don't know if is there time for questions? I can also answer questions if you like. Thank you so much.